Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome. How are we all doing? You may tell I'm I'm not exactly prepared this morning. Somebody slept in late. How we all doing? How we all doing? As the title, or as the thumbnail, sort of, as the thumbnail describes, we have a choice today. We have a choice. Do we just start cashing in, or do we double down? We've got to start making that decision, I think. No sleep for the wicked, 2 AM in the States. If I was in the States right now, not to get political in any way, shape or form, but I would just hibernate. Hibernate until it all goes away. Crawl into a cave, get a blanket, and just hibernate till it all goes away. May have bought all my servers callous hide or heavy callous hide to reset it. Ouch. Ouch. 10 PM here, my son's asleep beside me, off to bed soon. 10 PM's a reasonable hour to turn in, I'll give you that. But we're rocking 11 AM. The distinction of being on the other side of the planet. Perfect timing, got home from the dentist just too. I hate the dentist. Yuck. Dentist is a crazy man. Oh, a 6 weeks baby. Oh, well then you need all the sleep you can get. That's for sure. Look at my cup. My cup is amazing. Give it a lick. You do now have the red coffee club. Congrats. Congrats. Big shout out there. Coffee club, respect to you all. Good morning to you. Good morning, good afternoon and good evening. Starting off a bit slower this morning. You guys may have noticed that the coffee club members have surpassed the 100 mark now. You are now a 3-figure club, boys and girls. Although technically, I think this counter counts resubs as well. So, do you guys have an auction house glitch where the food materials are super cheap but unbuyable, or is it just hacks? Food materials are super cheap but unbuyable. Are you sure they're not just being posted as bids, as bid only? Is bid only a thing nowadays still? Yeah, auction house is bugged. Meat can't be bought. No, it's bugged for sure. Oh, really? Oh, we need to investigate that. Lots of investigations. Lots of people posting about it on the sub. Meat's been bugged for the last few hours. Oh, this is cool. Should we have a look? Let's finally actually get the game on the go. I guess we'll load our bank character for that one. Meat's been bugged. Oh dear, Blizzard. Oh dear. What worries me greatly whenever there's bugs with the auction house is it usually leads to some sort of item duplication. Is it on the subreddit, is it? Let's have a read. I found something very interesting on the subreddit yesterday. Something that I can't arguably claim to share on stream though, which is a bit funny. Auction house bug and affect unrelated markets. Some kind of new auction house Oh my god, there's loads of posts about it. So what are we saying it is? Meats, default UI, consumables, food and drink. No, it's going to be trade goods, meat, right? Trade goods, cooking. 3 silver for questionable meat. Creepy crawler meat for 2 silver. Ribs, 3,000 available, 1 silver. Shows them as 1 silver, but if you click, you can only buy it for the normal listing price. Huh? Okay. That's odd. That's very odd. What if I just try and buy one? This item is no longer available. What if I try and buy this one? Item is no longer available. That's a weird one. How do you reckon that fares with things like TSM then? For starters, how do we think that that's even occurred? Let's think for a second. How could this... The fact that it says the item is no longer available, that is something that you... I don't understand why these listings are so... Showing is so low. Can you buy the cheapest stuff? No. Is it going to give me a confirmation before buying any of this? No. No longer available. What's the going price on... This is going to... Oh... This is going to have some wild effect on market value, because TSM as an external database will be tracking all of this. Try the normal price solo without buying those silver ones. You can't, because it's a material. Materials you have to buy from the bottom. You have to buy the cheapest ones. You can't just select an expensive one. That's really funny. Gonna tank value, gonna be great to buy when it's resolved. No, you got to be careful though, because things like this have their value artificially inflated and kept high because for various reasons. But that's odd. Is it happening on anything else, or is it just meat? Why don't I use my own shopping lists? Solheim made a big shout out to you in his last video. Bloody better had done. Stole my video idea. No, I'm only kidding. No, I'm very aware that he was talking about the rumours of the skinning nerf as well, and sort of putting them to sleep. Whilst I like the fact that he chose to give me a shout out based on the stream that I did yesterday and the video I put out, what I didn't necessarily like was the fact that he called somebody else out. Which, yeah, that's not the way I like to do things, but sure. I'll for sure I'll call somebody out on their trickery if they were deliberately being deceptive. But I don't necessarily believe that Modest Millions was going out of his way to deceive people. I think it was just generally a few people had said that there was skinning nerfs and he assumed that they were probably true and then did a video on it. He's an up-and-coming creator. He's arguably doing more views than I am right now, but so are many people. Yeah, I didn't like that side of his video too much, but... Now, I've not kept my eyes on materials for a long while. Is anything here standing out to be something that shouldn't be the case? The fact that pallid bones are 3 gold, Anger's eyes are 3 gold, it seems to only be the meat by the looks of things. Which does it in... Does it consider the fact that... Well, at least actually, when you look through this one, it shows you who's selling it. Look at the huge, great big, long-ass list of people that are potentially selling it. Do you reckon these people actually undercut at these prices at any point? And what the hell's going on at the other end of the tree? People are trying to scamaz the system left, right and centre. Because in TSM you can select one, but you can't buy just that one, because you see it comes up with a buy thing. At what point does it actually give you the option to press the buyout button? Or will it never? You straight up simply just cannot buy meat right now. Can you list it though? Could that be a TSM bug? No, it's got absolutely nothing to do with TSM. It's baked into the game. TSM is just reporting what the auction house tells it. This is hence why you can see it straight through the. You can list, but you can't buy. That's really interesting. Now, consider it lucky that it's not a Tuesday. Because if this happened on a Tuesday, just as everybody, you can't buy the cheapest, you can't buy any of it. Because the way that the materials work is you have to buy from the bottom. You have to buy out the cheapest first. And if these are kind of stuck in limbo, like it's going to take a Blizzard dev to come in and unsticky the whole situation. Food is going to be super expensive right now for those that stocked up. Well, the theory then goes, surely, that if you look at cooking, are we expecting to see a price hike on certain things? Because you can't buy the meat. I mean, I'm talking only very, very short term, but what are the big ones? We've got like the feasts, for example. The feasts are going to use a bunch of meat, right? Surely. The question is how long will it take crown roast? You mean the crown roast that doesn't even exist? Did I miss you trying to buy meat with the vanilla UI? Just checking for confirmation. Yeah, you can't do it. Some cheeky meat sellers in chat. Maybe I should open chat, see what's going on. No, people are just trying to want to buy Shadowgas Greaves, item level 235. He wants to buy Shadowgas Greaves, 235. Let me just check. Anybody wanting to buy a 235, I'm at least interested. Shadowgas Greaves. No. Shadowgas Greaves, 235. 84k. That's why he wants to buy them, because 84k on the auction house is expensive. Well, I can't see anybody trying to sell meat. Cinebrous Crown Roast Aspic. Can you tell I've not even bothered leveling cooking this expansion so far? Tenebrous Crown Roast Aspic. This looks very much like somebody's bought them all out and just listed them higher. Because I mean they're still cheap, mind. The play, to be fair, is to just buy them all, isn't it? But the problem is if I bought them all, I wouldn't be able to resell them quick enough, and I don't care to. I'll let somebody else step in and do that cheekiness. Fish is fine, it's just the meats. I leveled it pre-raid, never actually got to the crafting part. Yeah, that's interesting. Let me scout the auction. Let's load up some Reddits. See what the Reddit's saying about this. Auction house bugged, so I'm trying to sell my farm mats as usual. I've seen some ridiculous undercuts. 300 gold meats posted for 7 silver times 200. So I bought it all out at that lower price, trying to post it back for the initial 300 gold. Now I posted it at the stupid 7 silver mat, and it shows up in the auction house. Trying to buy it again, but it says it's not available. So is it still listed at 7 silver, but I can't buy it? Oh dear. Experiencing the same thing trying to buy feasts. Item is no longer available. Cannot buy the creepy crawler meat or the seraphic wings right now. So this is all. This is 11 hours ago still. This is not like something that's happened in the last hour. This is something that's proper fucked up, and Blizzard haven't done anything about it. Just came here to post this. Submitted a bug report in game because it amounts to a duping glitch. I tried a few times after discovering this glitch. Some items are automatically restocking, some are not. The very first thing I said when I heard about this was that it's usually due to some item duplication glitch. Items are bugged for me as well, like the shadowy shank or tenebrous ribs. On Area 52, food crafted with the bug reagents have jacked prices now because people can't buy the mats. This is funny. Reagent prices are tanking because people can't buy them. The goblin in me kind of wants to wait till the second they fix the issue, buy out a ton of mats cheap, and then sell at inflated food prices. Yep. Wonder. Oh, this is a theory. This is a theory. Blizzard openly said they were being DDoSed earlier. Spitballing because I don't have the most technical knowledge, but I wonder if this is just a major latency issue related to the DDoS attack. But maybe it was caused during the DDoS attack. If people were posting their meat, it would like as the server was getting DDoSed. Maybe the request to post went through, but then the auction house listing value timed out, so it defaulted at 1 silver. Because what's the default vendor price for those meats? Where's the meat? Where's the meat? Now look, every single one. I reckon this is vendor sell price 6 silver, so that it's defaulted to something that's even less than the vendor value. It's very odd. It's very odd. You're going to need to reset Shadowlands for this. This is the kind of thing that it wouldn't surprise me if they do actually need to do a hard server reset to fix it as well. Take the servers offline, fix it, bring them back online. Because if they try to just, you know, flick a switch or change a piece of code somewhere, fuck knows what's going to happen. Cooking mats. What's really interesting to me is that this Reddit thread, this is like 10 hours old. 10, 11 hours old. 11 hours ago. 12 hours and Blizzard have not done anything about it. Hang on, let's go back. So even after 12 hours, nothing has been fixed about it. Auction house bug and effect on related markets. Is this just... is there actually any going to be information in this anywhere? Probably not. Why am I being advertised a top hat? Food prices have spiked due to people being unable to procure the mats. In addition, due to the meats not being able to be bought, prices of those meats has crashed to pitiful prices. But even if you post them on the auction house, nobody can get access to them, so it doesn't matter what you post them to. Now the issue is regardless about a British person in Finland selling a top hat, yeah, probably. Try to buy meats off a guy in trade chat. I don't think just having to resort to buying your meat from trade chat is really what people need to do. The problem is quite honestly, considering this is very obviously some sort of bug in the game, if you try and take advantage of this, you're kind of putting yourself in the firing line pretty quickly. But it's yeah, it's kind of an odd one. Like I said, the instant goblin in me wants to just wants to buy all of the food that uses meat off the auction house and post it for twice the price. Because if this becomes an issue that takes a while for them to fix, Blizzard should just cancel all the auctions. Yeah. Great opportunity for a full market reset. Can you imagine that? If Blizzard's only way to fix it was to actually just cancel everything. Has this sort of stuff happened before? Can I think of a time where the auction house is bugged out like this? Like I said, the very first thing that came to my mind when somebody said that the auction house is bugged prices, first thing that came to my mind was item dupe. Item dupe. Every time. I think the best course of action is just to leave it well alone, if I'm honest. I'm not in the cooking market to begin with. I don't think stepping into the cooking market just to try and make a quick buck now is wise. Especially since I just don't have that knowledge. I mean, if you look at the feasts, for example, the quantity of feasts on the auction house right now is substantial enough, I think. Not to mention that whilst there may be 254 feasts at this price, the likelihood is that there are people with thousands upon thousands of these things sat in a guild bank somewhere, or stock of them exists that's just not on the auction house. I'm quite sure the Swift Spectral Tiger I got in WoD for 400k was an item dupe. Oh dear. TCG cards were known to be duped though. Buying all the crowns, it sells too fast to restock. Dupe was the rumour. Did something like this happen in D3? Remember something like that? Well, the D3 auction house was a complete joke from the beginning. Just reset the feast market on my server and already 25k up. People are panic buying stuff. I mean, we could just do that. We could just test, couldn't we? Should we just test? It's worth a punt. Say goodbye to surprisingly palatable feasts. There's me saying steer clear of it. But... oh no, they're all going to come in stacks of 20 now. Oh Jesus, they all come in stacks of 20. Yeah, let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens. So now... no, hang on. Post 20 at 4,000 gold. At 40,000 gold, because you can. Then, you post 20 at 30,000 gold. And check that they go up. You just make a pretty pattern. You just make a pretty pattern. Pretty pattern. Oh, hang on. There we go. We'll leave it as a pretty pattern. Look at that, dipping into cooking, dipping in deep. I've probably just wasted 170,000 gold, but it'll just be funny if some of them sell. Hope Blizzard doesn't fix it in the next hour. At this point, I don't care. It's like, this is the advantage of having lots of gold. You can do stupid stuff and really not care about it. What I do care about, though, is getting all of these low, soon-to-expire auctions off the auction house. Hey, look, I've got meat and stuff on the auction house. Maybe I caused it. Maybe the auction house was so shocked to see that I was selling meat that it was like, whoa, hang on. These ribs, I'm actually tempted to leave them there, you know. Let's not cancel those off. Why are you listing so many different prices? Just so people see the cheapest one and go better buy the cheap one? For literally no reason at all. It's just making a pretty pattern. Like I said, I don't intend to sell any of them. How many auctions have we still got? Like 60. How did you come up with the name Manthieus, by the way? Honest answers, I can't really remember. There was this little stupid little online game I played for about 6 months when I was about I don't know, 16, 17 or something. It was one of these real time waster kind of games. It was like some gangstery game where you had to like you could, I can't remember what it was called, but you could never see your stats. All you did was like you worked up through different professions, but in the entire game you could only have like one top guy in each profession, and it was all sort of you could genuinely straight up just choose another person to try and attack them, and if your stats were stronger than their stats, you would win, but nobody ever knew what their stats was. So it was basically about who played the game most won. I can't remember what the game was called. There was a couple, Injustice. I don't know. I can't remember what it was called, but I just randomly chose that name back when I was playing then, and for some reason it stuck. It was shortly after that I started making YouTube videos, and I needed a YouTube username, and so I just chose it. There really wasn't any crazy story behind it. Sounds like some Russian roulette, to be honest. No. It was, I'm trying to think, what was it called? Mafia Wars or Injustice or something. It was a real old school game. Literally, probably only 1,000 people ever played it. It was that sort of niche. Oh, I wish I could remember what it was called now. With a bit more coffee in my system, I'd probably remember what it was. There was 2 versions of it. The guy that created the game initially, decided he didn't want to maintain the game anymore. So instead of giving the rights to somebody else to continue developing the game, somebody else just straight up copied the game. I can't even remember what it was. Oh, that's going to annoy me now. What was it called? I want to say Mafia Matrix. My God, it's still a game. It still exists. I legitimately think this was it. Hang on, I think I found it. I think this is it. I think it was called Mafia Matrix. Become the law or rise above it. Learn more about the game. Yeah, this is it. Holy shit, this is still a game. Browser-based mafia game set in a postmodern era. As a player, you have the choice to pursue a legitimate life by practicing one of the numerous legitimate careers, or you can associate yourself with the more nefarious character and live the life of a gangster. You basically chose good or bad. Mafia Matrix is a browser-based mafia game. Oh, it's just copy and pasted the same thing. But yeah, it was all browser-based. Jesus, this is still a thing? Game staff. I used to know a whole load of the staff. Mukhtar. I remember that name. He was one of the lead... Wow, this is crazy. And Kroot. Holy smoke. It was this game where I got my watch your language, remember read demonetization. My streams get demonetized every day anyway. Is there any like actual recover account info? I wonder if I still have an account. Game rules. Each player is allowed only one active account. No scripting, cheating. It was a real sketchy game. I give it that much. It was a real sketchy game, and the whole thing was basically you'd have this. There was the browser-based game itself, and then you would always use an IRC channel for just chatting to people within your, because you had like little cities. And you'd build you'd end up with this small community of players in one city, like Tokyo, or London, or New York. And then there'd be an IRC channel for that city, and you'd just chat away. And looking back at it now, it was probably ripe for, like, weird shit going on. But I can't believe this game still exists. Hall of Fame. This Kovic dude, I remember this guy playing it. Length of reign, 4,704 days this dude played the game for. Wow. And that was just one of his accounts. Then he got killed in the game, and he started the game again, and then lasted for another 4,400. How many years is that? Hang on. That's like 12 years. How can you have a character for 12 years? This was it. Like you'd make yourself a name, and you'd align yourself with a home city, and you had to create your own avatar and that sort of stuff. And that's where the name Manthieus came from. Just wonder, Tezdog, I remember that name as well. This dude was a dick. Oh, this is cool. I need to see if I remember any more of these names. This is totally bullshit, boring stream content, for sure, but... I don't remember any of these names. But like I said, I've probably not played this game for well over a decade. No, I don't remember any of these other names. There was one dude called Pedantic who was like super good at the game. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember any of these names. I'm amazed that this is still a thing. I'm legitimately amazed that this is still a thing. I'm going to have to check this out off stream later today. I need to find out if this is still something I can play, because that's crazy. Okay, anyway. Back to our regular scheduled. Digging into my origin. Yes, somebody asked me where the name Manthieus came from, and it's from that game. I didn't even know it was a game that existed anymore. I stopped playing that Mafia Matrix game to start playing World of Warcraft. And now I'm still playing World of Warcraft. Let's just ever so quickly see if we've been undercut on our feasts. We've been undercut on our feasts! Undercut. Post 10 at a time. This is funny. What I do need to check, actually, before I post everything back up on the auction house, is what's Callous Hide doing. Callous Hide is still exactly the same price I expect it to be. Not a lot of quantity, though. Ooh, cheeky reset potential here. Not a lot of quantity at all. Maybe I'll buy up some of this, because I know I do need to do some. It's only, whoa, that, why is that exactly 1,000? Okay, odd. And there's a big jump there, we'll buy those as well. 1524, maybe we'll go up to, we do need to do some restocking, 300. Go up to 1550 maybe. That'll do. And outside of that, we're just no juice. I don't actually want to fully reset the market. That's the weird thing. $15.50. That's 3,100. Do I just spend 100 gold per buy out these as well? 100 gold premium to this guy. Hang on, this dude is I know why. This dude also sells stuff. Nah, I think that'll do me for now. I don't want to invest too heavily. So, like I said, the thumbnail of the stream is exactly that. Do we double down or do we cash in? I'm kind of sitting right in the middle, which is not making any decision whatsoever. Callous, have I still got it for 1,500? I do. We'll leave it at that price, that's fine. What about Elithium ore? Elithium ore's nice and cheap. Or, well, in my opinion, sub 200 is nice and cheap. What am I trying to charge people for Elithium? I've still got it set to 180. Yeah, that feels about right. Maybe we'll go up to 190. Oh, we don't need to go up to 190. There's a big chunk of it there. That's a sizable amount. How much gold have we got left? Loads. That'll do me. That'll do. And lightless silk, if there's any cheap. 64 gold. I like to pay closer to 60 if I can, but I don't have any. And I've not really got any enchanted either. Today, unfortunately, is a bit of a restock day. Getting in preparation for tomorrow. We can buy a whole bunch of this up to here. What's going on? How much gold do you have roughly, or is that like asking your parents how much they earn? I don't keep a great track of my liquid gold because I spend it too quickly. But I've got just over 5 million in the guild bank right now, I think. my guild bank is kind of like my savings account. I don't use it unless I absolutely have to. What I have in my bags is just what I consider play money, that I can use to buy stuff, restock stuff, that sort of thing. I just have a simple rule of every time I loot gold for my mailbox, I put 10% of it into my guild bank, and it just builds up over time. Do I want to buy up all of it to here, maybe? 3,000, yeah, that'll do. That's going to be 1,500. 1,500 enchanted by the time I've shuffled it about. That's still not going to be enough for all tailoring, I don't think, but we'll let these prices come back down a little bit further. Right, let's get some stuff on the auction house then. You should get Crafter's Mark 2. I finally have some use for my gems. Yes, I absolutely do. I absolutely need to get my Crafter's Mark 2. The second I've finished restocking, we will do the more on my hunter to put ourselves in a position where we can, yes. I'm literally so far behind when it comes to aspects of actually playing the game. It's kind of disgusting at this point. Elithium's crashing hard on my realm. Watch out with Elithium. There doesn't seem to be many people farming on my realm. I mean, there are some items I keep my eyes on like a hawk. I rarely will make an issue with those. Plus, I know full well that I'm running very low on blacksmithing materials, so buying some now is fine. Not even stepped foot in the moor. Yeah, well, luckily the jewel crafting and leatherworking is on my main character. So in theory, I should be in a really good position to go out there and get it. But the God's honest truth is that, well, I just haven't played the game properly. Server's crazy. People are selling Legos with thousands of loss, and I'm just buying them for now. I don't expect the map prices to get too much lower than half of the price. It's a risky game to play because you don't know how many people have got how many of those items. If you buy one person's 225 item out for 10k less than crafting cost, there is the possibility they have 14 more ready to sell. Whilst I get buying stuff under crafting cost to them hopefully resell it later, it's still relatively risky. There's less risk the higher the rank, I think. But I certainly wouldn't be doing that on rank 1s or 2s. Look at this way, you chose Auction House PvP and you're making a killing there. You can't do everything. You can play catch up. Well, this is it. Like I've said this a few times, that I very much sacrificed the first few months of an expansion. I do it every expansion. I do this exact same procedure the beginning of every expansion. I did it at the beginning of BFA, and I went ham on Dark Moon cards, and I bled that market dry. I cashed that cow out so hard that that cow could not even stand up after. I made about 8 million liquid gold after a month or so of BFA, and then I didn't really worry about gold making for the rest of the expansion. I'm in essence doing the same thing again now. It gives me flexibility then. If I make all of the gold now, it means that yes, I can go ham again round patches being released and that sort of stuff, but I'm not tied to the game because, oh, I have to make 150,000 gold this month to get my token kind of thing. Plus, every time I hit Exalted with a reputation, if there's 100,000 gold for a mount, yeah, sure, just buy it, whatever. No issues. That's kind of the mindset that I like to go by. Still have 200, 300 tailoring pieces at rank 1 I've been flipping. Yeah, it's you've got to really, if you're looking at flipping legendaries, you've really got to be willing to play the long game. It may take 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks for the item that you buy under crafting cost now for the rest of them to be bought out, for you to then be able to start reselling at a profit. But profit today is profit. Profit in 6 weeks' time is still technically profit. As long as you don't rely on that the gold for the initial investment too heavily, do as you please. What did you do during the rest of BFA? Well, there was large chunks of BFA to where I just didn't play BFA. I spent a lot of BFA playing Factorio. I spent a lot of BFA playing Terraria. I played another few other games here and there. I spent a lot of my gold during BFA on buying up to 8 accounts. When I started BFA, I dabbled in multi-boxing in Legion. I think I had 4 accounts, I think, going into BFA. Through the period of BFA, I used a lot of the gold to get 4 more accounts to cap my Battle.net account at 8 accounts. Plus, you can then see that I was spending a lot of gold keeping all of those 8 accounts online. Yes, technically I was multi-boxing, but I wasn't one of those kind of make a whole bunch of boomkins and stand in one spot kind of multi-boxing. I tended to actually just enjoy playing or having the challenge. Like, one of my favourite things to do with multi-boxing was to create 5 different characters and try and solo dungeons. That's what I enjoyed doing. But of course, none of that was to ever for the purpose of making gold with the multi-boxing. So multi-boxing for me was a huge expense. It was at one point costing something like 1.5 million gold a month just on keeping those 8 accounts active. So the gold I made at the beginning I never stopped making gold through BFA, but the big, like 8 million or so I made at the beginning of BFA basically paid for me to not have to worry about gold making too much for the rest of the expansion. What's your plan for the channel for the rest of the Shadowlands? Please don't leave us. My plan is very much to do something similar. Whilst we're doing this hardcore auction house PvP thing right now, I never switch off the gold making. I'm always doing the gold making thing, but it means that I never have to resort to grinding mobs for 5,000 gold an hour. As soon as that becomes the meta, then I just don't do it. I dabble with a bit of auction house, bit of crafting. Unfortunately, the add-on that kills me is all the things. Hello, please give me a dog. Hi, puppy dog. It's not on, at least. So yeah, I tend to once I've made all of the made the bread, then I I actually play the game. And that's when I'll get to the point where we can keep up with current things a little bit more. Do you think Crafters Mark 3 might drop next week with PvP gear being upgradable to 197? No. No. Crafters Mark 3 will likely come in patch 9.1. The Christmas tree stays till April. Well, the Christmas tree, can you guys, oh you can kind of see the Christmas tree just, it's kind of here. Yeah, I said I'd get rid of the Christmas tree on the 6th, and I kind of did. I just didn't turn the lights on, but I haven't actually put the Christmas tree away yet. It's very tough to get into legendaries right now. Oh yeah, true. Legendaries are not a market that I'd recommend anybody get into now. Hell no. I request lore videos if you run out of content. I mean, I'd love to, apart from I have absolutely no idea about any of the lore in the game at all. You can get 197 from both Honor and Renown. Crafter's Mark 3 will be 213 to 226. Unlikely. Crafter's Mark 3, I don't. You're assuming that the item scaling is similar to what it was in BFA, where it's not. We're not going to see that dramatic of an item level increase throughout Shadowlands. At least that's what Blizzard have claimed. For example, on the beta, Crafter's Mark 3 pushed it from 168 up to 187. Crafter's Mark 4 allowed you to produce item level 200. And I imagine that those numbers are relatively... Because what Crafter's Mark is always going to be it's going to be enough item levels for you to get into Raid Finder. But it's going to be less than Raid Finder gear. Because the Crafter's Mark is in essence the catch-up system. Now, you can argue that Crafter's Mark 2 at 168 right now, it's actually, for a lot of people, not just a catch-up system, it's actually better gear. It's actually power progression for a lot of people right now. But that's because we're in the first patch of the game. Once 9.1 turns up, instead of getting a whole new list of gear like we did, we had Notorious gear, and eventually we ended up with Uncanny gear, for example. We won't get that whole new list of gear to craft with the professions. They'll just give us a new Crafter's Mark, which will allow us to recraft the stuff we're already crafting, but at a slightly higher level again. Now, whereas 168, you got to think the item level requirement to get into LFR right now is 170. So Crafter's Mark gear being 168 means that with your full set of 168 gear, plus maybe a Dark Moon trinket, plus, I don't know, maybe getting lucky killing the world boss once or maybe twice, you can basically ding level 60 and step straight into LFR by buying some Crafter's Mark rank 2 gear. Once we get into patch 9.1 and we get potentially a new raid, a new raid might not be in 9.1, it might be 9.2, but once we get a new raid finder, whatever is the minimum level needed for Raid Finder, the Crafter's Mark 3 will probably sit just under that. Crafter's Mark 3 would have no use if it was below 197 in the next patch. It's all subjective right now because we don't know what's in the next patch. But 180, Crafter's Mark 3 on the beta was 187. Because there's a strong likelihood that the next raid and the next raid finder, rather than requiring 170, it might require you to be item level 197, say, to get into the next raid finder, which would then mean that the Crafter's Mark 3 gear could be 187. There is not going to be this 200 item level jump in Shadowlands. I think you've got to remember that the purpose of Crafter's Mark is a catch-up system. It's not designed to give people a substantial boost to what they potentially already have. Nor is everybody meant to completely replace all their gear. Blizzard have a couple of times have come out and said that they really want to squish the amount of item level boosting that we have through an expansion. In BFA, we went from having item level 3, like 330, I think was what you would ding 120 in. You'd have 330 gear, and by the end of it, we were looking at stupidly high item level stuff. Because the world drop BOEs are item level 350, right? I think. And by the end of it, we were looking at like item level, what was it, 480 for mythic gear, I think, which was a whole 120 item level, basically 150 item levels over an expansion. They don't want to do that again in Shadowlands. They want the gear that you have now to mean something even in the next patch. I'm just hoping that's what Blizzard do, though. Now, I'm only regurgitating what Blizzard have put forward as their plan of action. There's no patch notes or anything to say that this is what's going to happen, but we went from 150 to 226 just on release. We're going well over 300 this expansion, making it a huge item. I don't think we will. I don't think the power creep is going to be that big. Because, like I said, I feel that we've had a huge chunk of the actual progression gearing front loaded. But we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that we end the expansion. I would like to see us end the expansion with item level 300 gear. Which still, technically, is 150 item levels from where we started from. But if we end up on 400, 500, it's just ridiculous. I mean, and I'm talking about item level 300 gear being like fully decked out end mythic boss kind of stuff. Average Joe is probably going to have 230 to 250. If you're decked out in 226 mythic gear right now, you could perceivably go into patch 9.3 and still slay. That's the plan, I think. What did we sell? A Shadowgas necklace, really? Ah, because I'm burning through stock on these. That's why. It's like, why is this selling so cheap? What I've just realised is I've spent this entire time not crafting stuff in the background once again. Bad Manthieus. Let's think about what we should actually be crafting. Well, we need to be crafting just a metric ton of enchanted materials, so let's get our enchanter online. We sold something else. Shadowgas gauntlets. Rank 2. Just above cost. Anything above cost is profit. We've also got to consider what they might do with the legendaries. I feel that by the end of the expansion, we'll probably have a rank 8 legendary. That's where I feel they will try and balance towards. So we've got up to rank 4s now, and like I said, I think a lot of the gearing is front loaded at the beginning of the expansion. We are likely to see an additional rank to the legendaries each time a patch comes out, so that you feel as if you've got some progression on the items, but the item is still meaningful, even if it's not been upgraded. This is a fine line that I think they're trying to balance on. But so if we have my tables in LST have room for up to 10 ranks, you've been planning ahead. My question is, how are we going to acquire rank 5? I don't think we'll see more than one rank for legendaries each major patch. I think it will be right. Well, this is your way to. I hope they build in. I hope rank 5 is not just buy a rank 5 base item. I hope rank 5, 6, 7, 8 have some separate progression path to them that's outside of professions. Now that seems odd for somebody that would quite happily take advantage of a new rank of base item to sell, but I don't think that that's the way that Blizzard are going to do it. I think they might allow you to have the crafting from ranks 1 to 4. You can get up to rank 4 through buying base items if you wish, but to get to rank 5, to get to rank 6, to get to rank 7, potentially to get to rank 8, there will be different ways and means about how you do it. Boy, I hope we don't need to craft 15 rank 4s. Well, yeah. I hope that too. What I really hope is that even if we're not gaining experience for crafting them now, that Blizzard is keeping track of what we craft, so that when rank 5 comes out, yeah, you need to craft 15 rank 4s. But if you've already crafted 15 rank 4s, you retroactively get the experience you would have done. That would put the goblins almost instantly at rank 5. But the casuals that haven't bothered would still need to craft a whole bunch of rank 4s. Yeah, no, that's not happening. I know. That's the epitome of wishful thinking, but insta rank 8, yeah. There's absolutely no way Blizzard are nicers, but you know, you can wish. Anyone else noticed how it's suddenly profitable to rank up leatherworking? Callus price high have fallen more than prices, so even rank 1s are profitable. That's going to be very server dependent. The general trend has been that Callus hide price has been relatively stable for weeks now. We're starting to see a slight decline, but not dramatic. And we looked into this in detail a little bit yesterday when we were trying to assess the skinning situation, and it appears that whilst some of the like the hyperspawn spots have been nerfed, the regular skinning farms seem to have been basically untouched. You're still looking at between 12 to 17 heavy callus hide an hour. And based on those numbers, you're still seeing a demand because people are still crafting and selling rank 4s relatively quickly. If you think about it, at the point based on if you look at I'm on the wrong character. I think you need like 50 for a tier 3 rank 3. Sorry, tier 3 rank 4. So like the chest plate, umber hide vest at rank 4, for example. I believe that takes 15 heavy callus hide and 15 enchanted heavy callus hide, which relates to a total of 45 heavy callus hide, which theoretically to farm that up yourself would take 3 hours of farming. So currently demand for the materials and supply of the materials is kind of balanced, which is why the material prices have not changed so much. Soon as there's an imbalance in one direction or another, things start to happen quite quickly. Is it 20 of each even? Well, there we go then. Then you're looking at 60. So you're looking at about 4 hours worth of actual farming to get the heavy callus hide to make that one legendary item. Callus isn't moving much, and they're artificially keeping rank 1s to 3s super low to keep new crafters out, especially for leatherworking. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm actively doing that myself. For any spare legendary items that I've got over and above my restock value, you'll see I have this sellout operation. This sellout operation basically means I'll undercut anything down to almost 50% crafting cost. I'll basically undercut anybody with any spare items that I have. As one, it means I'll sell it, and you know, gold is gold. Secondly, though, it means that it keeps the price of 1s, 2s and 3s relatively low, which in turn is restricting the amount of people getting to rank 4. If you've got the gold, you can still force your way into the rank 4 market, but if you haven't got the gold to do it, goblins are going to make it very difficult for you to do it sort of organically. I mean, we can look at, like, let's look at Umberhide, for example. Because this is one where I've got everything unlocked. Let's wait for it to load. So Vest 190 has a crafting cost of about 25,000 gold. You can see that most rank 1s are undercrafted. Like the market, what the market price indicates is that a rank 1 vest, even at 100% market price, is still technically under crafting cost. Umberhide vest is going to set you back about 25,000 gold to make it, based on my auctions prices. Now I've only got one of them, so I'm not willing to sell it under cost. If I had more than one of them, I would be competing at this price as well, just to stop these people from making sales. 210 market is crafting cost of nearly 40,000 gold. So that you can see this is a good example. Like I've got one listed at a price point where it's profitable for me, but if I have any spares from when I was leveling it up, which I obviously do still have some spares, I'm using those spare items as a way to, I'll sell it under current crafting cost, but it means that if I get this sale rather than say Jonah Druid, it's one less sale Jonah Druid gets, which means he's one step less close to getting up the tree to rank 3s and 4s. Because when you step into rank 3 market, that's where you start to see things being profitable. So Umberhide Vest at rank 3 is currently being listed for 75. It costs about 60 to make it, so there's a small amount of profit in that. And then when you step up to 235, interestingly, people even at 235 now are choosing to sell them under crafting cost. Crafting cost of a 235 is virtually bang on 100k. So I'm not selling it for less than 115. If I can't get 15%, because you got to remember the auction house takes 5%, I want 10% on top of that. So it means that my minimums are set to be about 15% above crafting cost. So these guys, even rank 4s, are not selling them. So like it's just holding the market down at the bottom as much as possible. To get past this stage, to even get to the point where you can craft a rank 3, is probably for the Umberhide Vest going to cost you a couple of million gold, which is just on one slot. It makes it unobtainable for some people. This is like this all rolls back to what I was saying a couple of weeks ago, that you had to keep ahead of the game with the legendaries. The only profession that the only side of the legendary market that I don't have maxed is Bone Shatter gear, and that is because I didn't keep ahead of the curve. I got left behind with the Bone Shatter gear, and it made it incredibly expensive for me to catch up. You've got to remember it was free for them to make, just killed some deer for it. Yeah. I'm quite happy for people to consider their farmed materials free, because I know full well that I need considerably more than they can ever farm, so I'll happily buy theirs out, it's fine. Have you talked about the ribs being bugged in the auction house? Yeah, all the meat seems to be pretty much bugged at the moment. I don't necessarily know why. We did something a little bit cheeky. We bought out all of the feasts just to see what would happen. I think I bought these feasts for an average of 750 gold. We'll see how we do selling some of them back. Ultimately, I'll take a huge stinky loss on all of these, but it was just something funny to do. Always funny trying to sell people materials. I offer them around 6 to 7% discount off the lowest auction house price. People turn around and ask for 20 to 30% discount. Heavy callous hide, I sell it for 1200. They ask for 1k. It's because people are well, that's good. I'm glad people do that. I'm glad people who are trying to buy through trade deliberately are trying to lowball you. The worst that can happen is that you say no. You should always attempt a lowball offer, because occasionally it works. And you're like, wow, great. Farmers started to panic. First time somebody contacted me to sell heavy callous hide cheaper than on the auction house. If some people want to panic, let them panic. Take up their offer of buying some cheap leather. I was asked to do a rank 2 for free because it gives you XP. And when I said no, he replied, "Stop making me feel guilty." Tough love. Tough love. What does bugged mean exactly for regards to the meat on the auction house? Well, quite simply, the auction house has done a whoopsie. We don't know how or why the auction house has done a whoopsie, but what it's done is it's listed a whole bunch of people's items at like literally silver costs, and the issue is that you then can't buy them. For some reason they're completely bugged out, you can't buy them, and the fact that the auction house works on a basis of that you don't have you have to buy the cheapest auctions when it comes to materials. It means that if the bottom most cheapest auction is bugged, you then can't buy any item because it tries to buy that first item every time. So people people can list meat on the auction house for whatever price they want right now, but nobody is able to buy it. So any meat that's been listed on the auction house right now is just being held captive until it expires. Maybe the seller can go in and manually cancel it, but otherwise it's held captive. Where's my ribs, for example? Can I cancel these now? Okay, so I can cancel what I've listed, so it's not held that captive, but these ribs I then wouldn't be able to resell them back on the auction house. Because the auction house is broken. We see here, literally thousands upon thousands of ribs being listed at stupidly cheap price. But if you go to buy these, you physically can't buy them out. See, it'll never work. Even if I do it through the default UI. You can go buy, it just says the item's no longer available. And because that these low auctions are bugged out, it means that nobody can buy anything because you have to start from you have to buy the cheapest ones first. So funny to see people join the chat asking about the Callus nerf all the time when there wasn't even a nerf. Yeah, I don't understand where this has come from. I mean, I genuinely feel I've done everything I can to sort of inform people that no, there has not been a nerf to Callus Hide. I don't know where this rumour started from or where it came from, but there quite simply hasn't been a nerf. But if people want to sell me all of their heavy Callus Hide for cheap, I'll buy it. Absolutely. I mean, it's in your thumbnail, your title yesterday. Yes, with a big fat dirty question mark. We were investigating whether it was nerfed or not. If I'd put an exclamation mark, then yeah, maybe. But no, it was a question mark. People don't care to watch the stream video you made to actually find out. True. Why would every skinner not claim that there's always been a nerf? Marketing. True. True. All that free marketing. Rent free in your head. Is a title with a question mark in it considered baiting? Maybe. Get baited. What would you suggest as a gold making method for somebody that only wants enough gold to buy the needed base items and consumables for raiding? Skinning question mark? Yeah, honestly, yeah. Skinning, herbalism or mining. Right now though, those three gathering professions are super lucrative still. There's not a huge amount, like I would love to be in a position to say, no, don't do that, go do some crafting, because logically crafting should be a more reliable way of making gold, but unfortunately the way that Shadowlands is panning out, the only real area of crafting that is super profitable is legendaries. And there's a big issue with that if you haven't already started, if you don't already have rank 4s unlocked everywhere, it's not profitable at all. So ultimately, it's filtering everybody into, you should either be crafting the legendaries yourself, or you should be farming the materials to sell to the people that are crafting the legendaries. That whole market is where the economy is right now. Focus on doing some herbing, mining, skinning for the next few weeks. You'll have more than enough gold that you need for any consumables, for raiding, anything like that, with just a few hours worth of work. Not too difficult at all. Any crafted mounts this expansion? There isn't any. There's no new crafted mounts. There's a new crafted pet if you're an engineer that requires you to be exalted. But outside of that, there's not a lot. Not yet. The thing is I feel there will be more stuff to come. I think I'm really hoping that Blizzard look at the professions and they go, right, they need something. Because right now there's not a lot of anything. Enchants are going to be selling for less than cost. Potions, flasks, unless you are super savvy about getting your herbs at the cheapest possible price, they're going to be under cost. Because there's no ranking system, there's no procs, there's no Silas, there's no tools of the trade, there's nothing that gives anybody a competitive advantage. Which means you have to make a competitive advantage yourself, and to do that you're going to have to just try and find your herbs cheap as possible, and you're always going to come across people that will consider the materials that they farm themselves free. So there's not a lot of professions that have areas where you can really sort of make good gold with them at the moment. I still disagree with that logic. Alchemy's in a great spot in my opinion. For a seasoned goblin, it probably is. But for Joe Blogs that wants to make some gold with their professions, not really. Removing the ranks and procs made it better for goblins? No, that I don't agree with, not in the slightest. Absolutely no way. The more barriers to entry, the better for a goblin. I can literally go to the auction house any day, buy herbs, make potions, and sell at a profit. And so can everybody else. And when everybody else realises that, and they do it, then the markets crash, because the supply outweighs the demand. There is not a single person that plays this game that cannot level up alchemy and make potions and flasks at the same cost as everybody else. Whilst it still may be, whilst you may still be able to make profit today, I guarantee I'll ask you the same question again in a few weeks' time, and every single flask, every single potion will be selling for considerably less than what the herbs cost to buy. Every time. I feel the ranks and procs confused so many non-savvy people, causing them to overvalue the procs. You're thinking like a gold maker. You're thinking like a gold maker, which is causing an issue where if you think like General Joe that turns up, they have their alchemy, they go to buy some herbs, they craft some potions, they go to sell their potions. Are they going to make a profit? No, not even close to making a profit by now. But in 8 years, I've never seen as easy profit on alchemy as I have now. But, okay. Okay. We'll agree to disagree on that one, but there's no way that professions are going to maintain profitability for much longer. How does it show the item level in your bags? It's Bagnon. There's a separate module. I literally need to record this. there's a Bagnon item level, separate little module that does it. Does the alchemy mastery still work in Shadowlands? Say potion master? No, it doesn't. $9.6 million liquid after looting the mailbox this morning. Gold cap is close. Gold cap is close with those kind of numbers. Gold cap is very close. Oh my god, I logged this dude on and didn't do anything with it. See, this is why I'm terrible at multitasking. Where did all of my materials go? Oh, I bought a bunch of material. Hang on. All bought. Bought a bunch of materials, then didn't even send them to the crafter, let alone actually start crafting with them. Nearly 1 million gold in materials, and I forgot to do anything with them. Oops. Hang on, I genuinely hate the TSM interface for posting. There we go. Postal is 10 times better. As a raider, the cheaper alchemy is the better. Well, that's true. Oh no, why did I send all the callous hide there? The callous hide needed to go to somebody else. Oops. Send this dude all the callous hide. That needs to be turned into heavy callous hide first. Now this dude can start whacking away. Oh, we need to make some Shadowghast ingots today as well. Oh, good Jesus. I'm not going to get to play the game today because I'm going to be crafting all these enchanting mats. Oh dear, what a shame. I'll have to not play the game again. I was in the middle of restocking cooking last night and it wouldn't let you finish. I just wonder, how long it's going to take Blizzard to fix this. Like, surely bug reports have gone in. Surely they know about it. But my concern is that the only way that they can potentially fix it is to do a server restart. When will we be able to use TSM formulas instead of fixed prices? I see prices are being kind of stable for 2 to 3 weeks for mats, for example. And you can use the price sources whenever you wish. I just, for the most part, choose not to. But that's because I'm only with selling legendaries. I'm only dealing with a handful of materials, which makes it easy for me to use fixed prices rather than custom prices, like using price sources or special operations for it. You need a guild just to set times and add pressure on you to actually play the game. That's the entire reason I'm not in a guild. As quite simply, I don't want somebody else dictating my schedule for me. If I want to play the auction house for the evening, I want to play the auction house for the evening. I don't want to hold back 19 other people because I want to do something different. It's quite simply the reason I'm not in a guild is because when I play the game, I'm too selfish about what I want to be doing in the game. And I don't care about gear. If I want to run the raid, I'll do LFR and I'll take the scenic route just to see the bosses and whatever. If I cared about gear in the slightest, I might do the raiding. The actual difficulty curve of killing the bosses in an organised group, I've done it before. I enjoyed it, but it's not. It's neither here nor there for me. So. You should do that. Manthieus is really cool. LFR, I mean. I've done the first wing of LFR. I've seen the first few bosses. And they were quite cool. If you don't play the game, what do you need gold for? For me, the enjoyment is the craft of making the gold. Just like for some people, the enjoyment of the game is killing bosses. If you've already got all the gear, why do you need to kill bosses? Well, to get more gear. If you've got all of the gold, then why do you need more gold? Well, to get more gold. It's just a different take on ways to play the game. Did you hear about the NA 100 million gold ban? No. Although, weirdly, 100 million gold doesn't even sound like a lot of gold right now. My view on what is a lot of gold has been so swayed in the last few weeks. It's unbelievable. A lot of things posting under below minimum price now. The markets are very tight. So this dude is going to be making these for a while. If we need to restock on ore, is there any one ore we need more than others? We've got a reasonable amount of Phaedrum ore. That is likely because I've actually gathered up a bunch of Phaedrum. I was leveling my druid in Ardenweld, so I naturally acquired this. But we could do with looking at the prices of the other ore. They're not bad prices actually right now. Not bad at all. Let's do some quick maths. So we're looking at 39 plus 34 plus 29 plus 22 plus 28. 152 divided by 2. 76 gold per Shadowghast ingot right now to make them myself, whilst to buy them in any quantity we're looking at 100 gold a piece, so 25 gold, nearly 30 gold premium for buying the Shadowghast ingots right now, so we will not be doing that. Wow, that's a lot of Oxane ore. And then it disappears. Do we do a reset on Oxane ore? Do we do a reset on Oxane ore? 300,000 gold to get a reset on it. Although 330k to get a full reset on Oxane ore. It's risky because it's farmed heavily right now. Maybe I'll just buy what I need. Do I pick some of that up? Is that cheap enough for me to pick up a bunch of it? Nah. Do we have any Oxane ore? Balls deep and reset it entirely. I know you guys always want to see me fully reset markets. I can't do it every time though. I'm not quite lavish enough to be able to fully reset markets every time. One day maybe. Especially when there's like 13, there's big blocks, big chunks of like 13,000 of it. That's a stumbling point for sure. Sold a Grimveiled Hood, rank 4 yesterday for 100k. Usually goes for 25. Damn. Jeez, look at the amount of it like kicking about at this price point. Right, that's probably close to 2 million we've spent again on materials this morning. Really got to stop doing this. Who's this going to? This dude. that's everything. Maybe spending 200,000 gold on stupid feasts was not sensible. I don't care. Right, this dude is going to be online all day whacking away at these things, I think. Because he's got lightless silk to turn into enchanted lightless silk. He's got shadow ghast ingots to be crafting. He's got enchanted Alethium bars to be making. And I'm quite sure that he's going to need to make a whole bunch of enchanted heavy callous hide at some point as well. Got his work cut out as this little enchanter dude. Right, the difficulty comes from the fact that whilst this dude is crafting away, it leaves me scarily playing the auction house, which, as we know, usually leads to me buying stuff. Let's do a cancel scan. Somebody came in and asked me if I'd heard about 100 million gold ban and then didn't tell me about it. I feel I was being baited. Resetting markets in your nature, don't fight it, accept your destiny. Yeah, I know, it kind of is. The NA 100 million gold ban, an account that was set up only to advertise boost sales and not engaging in the game itself, was banned. First it was just a temporary silence on the account, the player then appealed it and then had the account banned upon review. Oh, ouch. Just a boosting community bank alt getting banned for breaking the new TOS. Wow. Okay, that we need to look into. Is it? It's got to be on Wowhead then, if people are aware of it. With great gold comes great responsibility. Oh, hang on. January the 7th hotfixes. Let's just check the hotfixes ever so quickly. Hunters can now feed their pets Shadowlands meat. No, they can't, because they can't buy any meat. Nope. Nope. No, they can't. Kyrian's had a bunch of stuff changing. Fixed an issue where defeating a boss on Mythic Keystone difficulty wouldn't provide you credit for a quest. Manthieus, blah 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 blah. Dungeon change. Splintered Heart of Alkar would fail to trigger. Fix the issue where missing spawns an incomplete stage progression. Nothing really interesting. Increasing the Undying Army reputation rewards for Mondrax's Elite World quests. Okay, nice. So, Torghast Twisting Corridors account-wide progression? Ooh. Where's this story though? I saw something about... Where was it? Was it this one? Blizzard policy change, accounts created for advertising subject to ban? This was 2 days ago though. What are the sellout operation titles I see there? Is this just you pricing aggressively to sell off stock that you can't... yeah, basically, yeah. It's designed so that when I have more stock than I need, it will sell. It's basically a second operation on the group that will then sell additional items at a much more aggressive price point. That's a way to burn through some spare stock. Ah, this is it. Okay. Let's have a read through this then. It appears that Blizzard has made some changes to their... Hang on. Before that, let me finish my goddamn cancel scan. Let me... Otherwise, I'm going to sit with a mailbox full of items whilst we read this. Let's grab all of these items out. 74. We've not even got bag space for all of this. Ooh, just fits. Let's get that back on the auction house, and then we can read this policy change and somebody losing 100 million gold because of it. That's just funny. So to give you an example here then of this sellout operation, you can see Bone Shattered Greaves at 190. My default price for listing them is going to list them at 26,000 gold, which as you can see it's stating is below minimum price, and so it's just posting it at minimum. But then this second operation attached to the group is then basically for the exact same item, it's choosing to undercut the competition at 15k because it's far more aggressive, and it's because I've got too many pairs of Bone Shattered Greaves. So it's the same item. One's being posted at 26, which is my actual minimum price. But then because I've got spare stock, the sellout operation is kicking in and is then being way more aggressive. Every time I sell something using this sellout operation, technically I'm going to be selling quite heavily under crafting cost. But at this point, it's usually only going to kick in on markets that are slow sellers anyway. So just getting rid of that stock is preferable to me right now. Because if it's a market that is under crafting cost already, and with material prices slowly decreasing, selling it for a 1,000 gold loss today is better than selling it for a 2,000 gold loss tomorrow, kind of thing. On top of the fact that anybody then looking to get into that market will have a much more costly time of doing such. So, but anyway, right, there's stuff posted. We got stuff posted. Let's have a read of this then. So, accounts created for advertising subject to bans. It appears that Blizzard has made some changes to their policies regarding advertising boost sales. While selling Mythic Plus, PvP and raids in exchange for gold is still acceptable, accounts created solely for the purpose of advertising boosts are now subject to being banned. Although what exactly constitutes advertising is a bit unclear. So far there's been no blue post, no tweet or any other confirmation aside from a Games Master response below. Keep in mind this entire story is centered around trading for gold, which is within the terms of service. There's no mention of real money transactions or indication that the account was banned for taking part in real money trading. So this is arguably something that is being sort of, it already sounds like an example of if you sit on the fence, if you're skirting the rules as close as you can, it's still risky. So let's have a read of this. I was silenced at around 1:45 today, January the 2nd, 2021. I sent my want to sell macro to trade chat on Stormrage, Sargeras and Proudmoore and got silenced again. This used to happen last year for me when my competitors reported me, and it seems to have happened again. Feel free to look at my previous history when this used to happen every weekend. Please take a look when you get a chance so I can get back to trade chat once again. Smiley face. Been marked as resolved. Greetings. I completely get wanting to dispute this penalty. I've been playing our games for more than a decade and I'd be devastated if something happened to them. I've thoroughly reviewed it for you to double check what happened. Upon review, we have determined that the WoW 3 World of Warcraft account was created solely for the purpose of advertising boosts. While advertising boosts for gold in trade chat is acceptable, we have changed our policies and creating a World of Warcraft account solely for this purpose is not. As such, we have lifted the silence but applied a ban to the WoW 3 account. Ouch. Ouch. So this guy should have, when given a silence, ironically, should have kept his mouth shut. Ouch. Okay. I got my silence appeal today, which was great, but it turns out one of my loyal WoW accounts got banned. It seems you guys have had a shift in policy towards advertising, which no longer allows in-game advertising. Original ticket number. Explains, we've changed our policies and created a World of Warcraft account solely for this purpose is not. I routinely monitor the in-game advertising rules around this article. Since I'm the owner of a 2,000 plus person gold only trade chat only sales community, I'm a bit perplexed and concerned about the statement above. From what I gather, the official Blizzard support article around in-game advertising, the rules state, selling of items and services for gold is allowed, but should be advertised through the Realm's trade chat. This is a great rule, and I live religiously by it. In fact, I oftentimes report groups who advertise in the LFG since it's a breach of the rules and it ruins it for the rest of us. I also routinely monitor this rule weekly for changes. Oh dear, this is sticky. This is sticky. What I struggle to find is a clause that refers to creating a World of Warcraft account solely for this purpose. Is this located somewhere else? My WoW 3 account holds millions and millions of gold that I owe to people from our gold-only community sales. Azeroth sales community. We've been fully compliant of the rules since day one. Besides the point, WoW 3 was not even made for the purpose of advertising. In fact, it was only made because of the 50 toon character limit that WoW 2 hit, so I had to open a third account. So this dude has obviously got characters on multiple accounts, wow. So he's got over 50 characters that he's obviously got across different realms already. So made a third account so he could just have more characters. Is paying monthly to have that account online. He would have bought a copy of the game as well. This is interesting. Since I routinely deal with and handle 200 plus million gold a month that has to go through our systems, it serves me very well to have multiple accounts to keep track of everything. There was an awesome assistance community manager, X was his name. He helped me in the past when I was getting targeted, muted. Could you reach out to him? Oh, greetings. My name is Lead Game Master, a manager within Blizzard Entertainment and hoping to address your concern today regarding the banned account. As the information was given to you, the account was found in violation and that's why the action was taken. You mentioned that you used the third account because the character limit, but you have on your normal accounts characters on some of these same realms that could be used for advertising. Because the end result was solely for being used to advertise, that's why it was determined that this would not be acceptable. Can anybody else see the change in font here? Why is this? This almost looks photoshopped. The font changes dramatically on this line. I'm getting suspicious. At this point, this has been reviewed by games masters and a manager has found to be properly applied. We consider this matter closed and will not review it any further. Damn. Damn. Your boy here got screwed, I think. Ouch. Ouch. So this dude who leads the Azeroth sales community shared the story on Reddit, which he reported losing over 100 million gold from the banned account. What's interesting here is that he claims the account was predominantly used for banking and auction house monitoring, whilst funneling gold around the community. Though the appeal, which was escalated to a lead game master, the manager reiterated that the account was banned for strictly advertising. This makes it sound like the GM's definition of advertising means anything to do with sales without engaging in normal game content, which could be a very important distinction. Because these large-scale groups tend to operate on nearly every server, the 50-character limit often precludes them from doing everything on just the one account. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, like you can't create a second account just to make gold. Well no, but making gold is not, you're not advertising anything. You can make a second account just to make gold. A second auction house account is perfectly fine because running the auction house is playing the game. The irony of having a silence overtuned only to be hit with a ban aside, flooding advertising is a real problem on some servers, and this would seem to crack down on those who are targeting boost sales directly, especially as more individual guilds and smaller communities attempt to get in on selling PvP, Mythic Plus and raids. For his part, Gormore's post agrees that the policy is a good change for that reason, but contends that that it was not announced ahead of time or clearly explained, resulting in losing a very large amount of gold from an account which was seemingly compliant. The frustration isn't without merit, as there's been no blue post, tweet or separate confirmation of this change, although Blizzard has always been the final arbiter as is to what is or is not a bannable offence. Therefore, anybody using alt accounts for advertising or any aspect of sales without engaging in normal gameplay may want to make sure they're okay with losing them. Crazy. And this is, I presume, his Reddit post on the matter, which is an essay in itself. Well, okay. Wouldn't auction house alt doing want to buy, want to sell in trade fall under this? I think it's difficult because there's got to be if you are actively buying and selling things on the auction house, then you are engaging in gameplay on that account. If you literally create an alt and all it does is run a macro to post in trade that you're selling a service, whether it be for gold or for whatever, that appears to be the distinction. They're claiming that, where was it, that solely for the purpose of advertising boosts Whilst advertising boosts for gold in trade chat is acceptable, we have changed our policies and creating a World of Warcraft account solely for this purpose is not. So yeah, you can advertise boosts in trade, but you can't create an account solely to do it. Damn. Ouchester. Ouchester. Well, do you think this would have ever even been reported though, if there wasn't 100 million gold on that account? It's one of those. Is this a big deal because somebody lost 100 million gold? If they didn't have any gold on that thing, would anybody still consider it a big deal? I think that's the crux of the issue, isn't it? That the guy's pissed because he lost 100 million gold, but if he hadn't lost 100 million gold, he'd have posted this and people would have told him to do one because he was spamming. People are probably only on his side because he lost 100 million gold and they feel bad for him. That's a weird one. That's a weird one. Can I read the Reddit thread? Hang on. I hate opening Reddit on stream. So we've got the gist of the story. I'm interested to see what people are saying. Now I'm very aware that the oh, here we go. Here was the closure notification. Unacceptable advertising. The above game license has been closed following the violation of the World of Warcraft Code of Conduct here. Oh, they just link the straight up terms of use. This is another example of that. When Blizzard ban you, they'll tell you what the violation was, but they won't give you any more details than what they think you did wrong. Nor will they give you any further justification. As the account holder, you're responsible for the activity associated with the game license. The abuse that took place was an unacceptable detriment to other players, the integrity of the world game, and the quality of our service as a whole. Closure extends to all characters and their associated property on the above license. Yeah, this is just copy-paste terms and conditions. But yeah, unacceptable advertising was the violation, apparently. That is quite funny though. When you click the link, it then goes to a 404. Ooh, ouch. That's not a good look. It then goes to a 404. That's funny. This is it. I'm pissed. I've spent years building up hundreds of millions of gold. This is the thing. If it wasn't for this, if it wasn't for the hundreds of millions of gold, would anybody have even cared? Let's look at some of the top rated comments then. 162 upvotes on this comment. Having ignored hundreds of people in the past couple of years who spam for these communities, I'm glad to see Blizzard taking a firmer stance. My concern is that it appears perhaps that the stance applied to the individual was not being applied equally to all. So if Blizzard could go ahead and start applying the same punishment to all communities that are spamming on level 1 alts on accounts created purely for advertising, and get even more aggressive and track down the owners of the accounts and threaten them, sure. Maybe it was the policy change should be announced with a blue post. See, I'm weirdly of the opinion, and this is a hot take, but I don't see why Blizzard should have to announce policy changes with a blue post. If they, I mean, I don't know what the legal ramifications are, but this is a game. This is not life or death for anyone. This is a game that is solely owned by Blizzard. If they wish to change the rules, they can change the rules. As long as those rules are listed somewhere, and there's some sort of record maybe that the rules have changed, but I don't think they need to go out of their way to actively inform the community that rules have changed. I don't know. The fact is that if you are creating an account purely for the purpose of making characters to just, in essence, spam trade chat to sell something, you are actively choosing to really sit on the fence. Like, when you look at it rationally, you know that that is not how Blizzard would want that account to be playing the game, you know? They don't have to announce it, but at least any bans for this new change should be warnings on a first offence. The fact that his account was getting silenced in the first place and on a regular basis, and he openly has stated that his account was getting silenced on a regular basis, that is almost the warnings. That is saying you're getting silenced for doing something. Your warning is being silenced. It's like a shadow ban. You get shadow banned, and if you continue to be a dick, you get banned. Here we go, we've even got a lawyer stepping in, look. That's mostly correct. They can change a lot within their rules without limitation. However, and there's no case law right now, you can bring such... Huh, really? It's crazy. You got automatically and incorrectly silenced. I don't know. But was he incorrectly silenced? He was spamming trade chat. That account was designed to spam trade chat to sell something. I don't know. Is Blizzard Terms of Service a part of a... Oh, okay. Well, this is interesting. It's an odd one. It's an odd one. Good to see reporting for advertising is working. Sucks for the OP, but amazing things work, and yeah, it shows that you're not wasting your time right-clicking reporting them. Advertising in trade chat isn't against the rules, and the designated place that sellers are supposed to sell their boosts is trade chat. As long as they don't post more than once every 3 minutes, they're fine. If they post frequently, they're considered spamming, which is reportable. And arguably, if it's a level 1 toon, you're not actively choosing to play the game if you're doing it on level 1 toons. Those level 1 toons are created solely for the purpose of spamming trade chat. Don't get me wrong, Blizzard are definitely allowed to do this, I just don't think they should. Maybe I feel it's almost a why the hell does somebody want to sell me a top hat so badly? Jesus. I think it's just a simple scenario. You probably caught this GM on a bad day, for starters. Where was it? Oh, okay, so this was the game, for reference, this was the Games Master that you'd spoken to previously. I'm happy to say I was able to overturn the silence. Please be aware, though, that using accounts or characters solely for the purpose of advertising is not allowed and will result in a ban. I recommend deleting all those new characters you recently created just to advertise with, and only ever advertise on your actual characters that play the game with to avoid a ban. Hope you have a fantastic day. This was his warning. This was the warning. You got silenced. Okay, I've overturned that silence, but do not do this. Here's your warning. And then when he continued to do it, he got banned. Well, there we go. He had his warning. That's not his ticket. That was somebody else's. Oh, really? Oh, see, I really don't want to have to read this entire thing just to get context again. To add insult to injury, I've also found other people who have recently broken this new rule after me and received a warning and update on the rules change instead of a permanent ban. It's important to mention this occurred after my occurrence to highlight the inconsistency of responses. Here's the response for the exact same thing from another WoW player, but with a different GM. This member also got silenced and submitted an appeal. How they were treated for the brand new policy. Oh, okay. Okay, well, I take that back then. Somebody got their warning. So if this person then continues to do it, they're going to get back. It was just made example of then. And whilst that's a bit of a shit situation for the dude, I don't know. It's Blizzard's game. Blizzard makes the rules. You agree to the rules every time you log on to the game. I don't know. It's a bit shit. I know it's a bit shit. But is it only just a bit shit because he lost 100 million gold? Would anybody really care that much if he hadn't lost 100 million gold? That's what I keep drawing it back to. If this wasn't a thing, if he didn't have 100 million gold on his account, would people give a shit? I don't think people would. I think people are only... I genuinely only care... I only think that people care is because he lost 100 mil gold and they feel bad for him. If he had 20 gold on that account, people have just said, well, he shouldn't be spamming. Tough shit. How are you guys sure that he wasn't warned? You believing him based on his story? Well, I mean, it's the tickets that we got. I mean, but I must admit, these screenshots don't look original. This was the original one. I was you can't see all of it there, can you? So this was the original one. This ticket's been marked as resolved. I completely get wanting to dispute this penalty. I've been playing the game for more than a decade. I'd be devastated if something happened to them. I've thoroughly reviewed it to double check what happened. Upon review, we've determined that the account was created solely for the purpose of advertising boosts. While advertising boosts for gold in trade chat is acceptable, we have changed our policies, and creating a World of Warcraft account solely for this purpose is not acceptable. As such, we have lifted the silence but applied a ban to the account. True, he didn't get his warning, but based on based on the policy, I don't know. I'm no lawyer, but serious policy changes should be announced because they have a ripple effect on a huge part of how people play the game at higher levels. I've seen GMs using different fonts in tickets sometimes. I think the reason you see different fonts used in tickets is because a lot of the stuff is copy pasted. And if you copy paste it from a spreadsheet, the likelihood is it's going to change the font. I'm very aware of why that works, why that's the case, but treating same cases in different ways is an example for unequal behaviour. This is just a cover-up Photoshop story. I don't. It's a shit situation for the dude that he lost his account because of it. But he didn't get Battle.net banned. He just lost an account. But arguably, I don't think people would. My summary on it is as such that I don't think people would have really even given this guy the time of day if he hadn't lost 100 million. The fact that he lost 100 million, instantly makes people give him some element of sympathy. But realistically, he made an account for the purpose of selling boosts, spamming trade chat. He got shadow banned. He openly admitted to have been shadow banned before. Do we have... was there anything that indicated... Because he spoke about this happening before. He spoke about it happening before, and he gave the original... See, he... where is it? Oh, I don't know. There was a point in it somewhere where he said that this had happened before to him, and that it had been overturned previously, which kind of make. But then I don't see the previous conversation, so maybe he did get warned previously. I think everyone's opinion now is different because he's a boost seller, but imagine having a second account for a banker becomes against the rules, and 2 days later your bank account gets permabanned. If it's against the rules, if it's against the rules, you shouldn't be doing it. Should you be made aware if rules are changed? Yeah, certainly. Does it take somebody being made an example of, which is kind of a bit of a dick move? Sure, but I don't know. I mean, whilst the argument is true that you should potentially get a warning first, getting a warning first is only common courtesy by Blizzard in the first place. I would imagine it is entirely within their... I'm sure if you read the terms and conditions that they have no requirement to even give you a warning first. If you break the rules, you can be banned. That's the long and short of it. If you break the rules, you can be banned. Don't break the rules, you won't get banned. I agree, yes, you should be given a warning first, and it's a bit of a dick move by Blizzard that they didn't give him a warning first. But I don't think that his account was in the best of standings in the first place. I think Blizzard, he caught this GM on a bad day. But, I don't know. Anyway, I think we'll put that one to bed. It's a shit situation for the dude. He lost 100 mil. Ouch. The rule to take from it, though, is don't break the rules. And don't skirt near them. Like, literally, if you think something is potentially breaking the rules, then you probably shouldn't be doing it in the first place. Think back to using software for multi-boxing. How pissed would we be if they suddenly banned people for it and said, oh, by the way, you're not allowed to do that anymore? That's basically what happened, though, right? They gave a fair warning beforehand, which gave people a chance to stop breaking the rules. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's an odd one. I think there's a lot of weight being put on the fact that he lost 100 mil. How do you store 100 mil on an account? Oh, easily. I mean, gold cap is only 10 mil. That means you only need to have 10 gold capped characters. You can have up to 50 characters on an account. But however, being right and getting right are two different matters. Maybe. It's an odd one. They just caught a GM on a bad day, I think. I mean, like I said, I think it... To sum it up, it's quite simple. just don't break the rules. Don't skirt near them. Like, play the game within the rules. Now, I know there's obviously the argument that if the rules are changed, but, like, I don't know. It's a game. It's annoying. It's annoying for sure. Imagine this is the advertising tune of the World First Guild trying to pay down their debt. Well, that's just adding extra variables to it, but I'd love to have a discussion about that once the issue isn't as emotionally discussed as it is right now. Yeah, it's an interesting thought process to, like, well, how does this... It's because people are so heavily invested in this as a game. It takes it out of the realms of, you know, it just being a game. You imagine if you got banned on Candy Crush on your mobile phone, would you really care? Probably not, because you're not really invested in Candy Crush on your mobile. You just don't care. But when you're so heavily invested in something, your emotions are towards it are a lot stronger. Have we actually sold anything recently? And no, is the honest answer. Has our dude finished... Oh my god, this dude got logged out. All that time we should have been crafting materials and we weren't. Oops. Never underestimate hardcore Facebook Candy Crush moms. Well, it's true. You gotta remember King, who create Candy Crush, are also owned by Activision. And Candy Crush creates just as much revenue for Activision as World of Warcraft does. Like, if you look at the earning reports, the amount of money that Candy Crush makes is disgusting. So I'm kind of aware my example was maybe not the best one, but, like, it's, whoa. And the stupid little farm games. True. Yeah, those hardcore Candy Crush mums are they've obviously got a lot of money to burn. How much total gold do you have? I have no idea. I don't tend to keep much in actual liquid gold because I usually end up spending it on things. I think liquid gold, I think I'm probably around 6 million right now. Not a huge amount. Or not by goblin standards anyway. Clear takeaway is if you can see any competitor in trade chat. No, that's not the clear takeaway. Fine. Remember Farmville? I don't need to remember, it's still a thing, isn't it? Are we going to have bag space for all of this? Probably not. We might do just. Flash dying got Farmville recently? Oh, did it really? Oh, rest in peace Farmville. Oops. What's the Supercell one called? Heyday. My wife plays Heyday on her phone, and she's like a multi-millionaire in Heyday. I tried playing it for a while and never had any gold to upgrade my farm, so I was just like, screw that. But the one game I do play on my phone, Like, there's only one game I play on this thing, and it's Brawl Stars. Brawl Stars I'm absolutely addicted to. Ask her to stream Heyday for one session after the Lego craze. Oh no, raid Shadow Legends. Yeah, yeah. If I ever tell you that I'm addicted to a mobile game, it's probably going to be raid Shadow Legends. But no, my addiction is quite clearly. My addiction is quite clearly Brawl Stars. Yeah, baby, hooked on this thing. When he says I've been playing Raid Shadow Legends for years in the sponsor spot soon, we know it's fake. Yeah. But would Raid Shadow Legends give you a maxed out account? No, they wouldn't. Maxed out, boys and girls. Apart from the one at the bottom. Ignore that. Yeah, I'm hooked on Brawl Stars. Not even sponsored. Not even sponsored. Did I actually post all of that? I did. Cool. Do you have a spreadsheet for legendary crafting? Yes, if you do !cheat, you'll get a link to my spreadsheet. Or somebody will link it to you in the chat. Right, we got a lot of this enchanted lightless silk. We made a whole bunch of bars. We need to also queue up the Shadowghast ingots to craft. That's really tying this account down to me not being able to actually do anything else with it, which is kind of annoying. Oh, we got a whole bunch of heavy callous hide here as well. Okay, we should have. I think we're gonna, with the materials that we've bought, this should last us for the weekend and allow us to sort of craft a few things here and there. Do a simple restock without doing anything too drastic. Why would someone consider going to court for a game reason like this? If they are, they need to have words with themselves. Well, yeah, but if you think about it though, the fact that the WoW token exists does in some fashion create a real world value to gold that you have in game. Now, of course, the transaction can only go one way. It can't necessarily go the other way, which kind of like muddies it a little bit. But if you work out what 100 million gold actually would cost you to acquire in relation to buying tokens, that's technically a lot of Wonga. That's a lot of dosh. $16K. There we go. $16,000 is arguably the value of what was lost on that account. That account had a real world value of about $16,000 then. Which people have gone to court for way less than $16,000, let me tell you. It's not quite real world value though, it's more like a Blizzard world value. Well, that's it. It's because you can put money into the system, you can't take money out of the system. So it's not quite $16,000, no. Remember that in the near third world countries like Venezuela, they had to use gold to sub for their accounts because their monthly sub would cost them like a third of their salary. Well, that's true. Go Judge Judy. Hey, get Judy on the case. Yeah. She didn't even know what World of Warcraft is. Bless her. What professions do you have set up on your characters? And is there a reason why you set it up that way, e.g. profession pairing? There's been logic to it in the past. There's not so much logic to it anymore. For the simple reason that it doesn't really matter what professions you have on what characters in Shadowlands, but in past expansions it has mattered. So, for example, this character that I'm on now used to be what I would have considered my main. I mean, my paladin was the character I played as a main for a couple of expansions, and being a paladin, being a plate wearer, it made sense for me to have blacksmithing, because, you know, a lot of the best blacksmithing crafts in the past were bind on pickup. So if you weren't a plate class, it was a bit, you know, bit pointless. Enchanting just went with it because enchanting has historically been very good for making gold with. No real. It's basically it's difficult to say because I've got so many characters now that I've actually got way more profession slots than I need. But back in the day, if you only had like 2 or 3 characters, then there was reason to have certain professions on certain characters, but not really anymore. And it's more about the fact that I'm not willing to change the professions that the characters have got anymore, because so many of them have got like years of past expansion patterns and stuff that if I was to change them about, I'd lose them all, and that, yeah, it's just not worth it now. Imagine you're a hobby pilot and you get your license revoked by a government measure for no reason. Would you immediately defend yourself against the state measure, wouldn't you? It costs you a lot of time and money. In the next step, imagine you are allowed to fly, but the private airport near you suddenly forbids you to take off or land there. The nearest airport is 800 kilometers away by car. You would have an interest in gaining access and having the ban declared illegal, right? I have no idea what you're going on about. How we got onto airports and flight licenses, I'm not sure. What did Mr. Jones have to say in the first place? Why would someone consider going to court for a game reason like this? Oh, I see. Yeah, there's always going to be some sort of an intrinsic link between the games that you play and your real world emotions and feelings about it. But yeah, it's odd. I get the fact that it's odd. Is it worth getting into the blacksmithing and tailoring market for legendaries at this point? I'm still making good gold with leatherworking. If you're still making good gold with leatherworking, just squeeze leatherworking for everything it's got. I wouldn't recommend getting into tailoring or blacksmithing. Most servers at this point are way below crafting cost on ranked 1s, 2s and 3s. Especially in tailoring and blacksmithing, because the barrier to entry is even lower. If you're still making good gold with leatherworking, just double down on leatherworking. Just keep crafting those items that you sell, keep selling at a profit, and yeah. Comparison is lame in many places, but in the end it should only make it clear that regardless of the motive, as long as you invest time and money and it's your right to be treated fairly, there will also be people who insist on their rights to be treated fairly. And that's where lawyers come in. Yeah, I suppose. Regardless of whether it's something that happens in a game or outside of a game, like, being treated fairly is something that, yeah, people will fight for obvious reasons. To give you a very brief, very quick overview of why I'd recommend not getting into legendaries right now if you're not already, we can use our legendary stock tracker add-on, hopefully. No, it's ballsed up again. Where is he? Only the first time I press this does this happen. Now, I don't know why it does this, and I might not actually have a way to report this to you, because it didn't pop up an error, it just did it. And I didn't install that bug add-on or something you asked me to. But literally that's the first time I've pressed the button today, and this is what it does. Do you have the debugging add-on? No. Oops. If I close it and do it again, now it just hangs and doesn't open at all. So now if I try and open it again, nada. The game just hangs for a second and then nothing opens. The likelihood is I've got where's the thing to squish error reports? Where is it? Oh, I don't know. Okay, maybe I can't find it. Okay, whatever. Don't know. You're definitely getting errors. Yeah. Yeah, game hangs for a second and then nothing happens. What's this bug squishing add-on you want me to install? I use bugger and bug grabber. I just use bugger. Oh, okay. Reuses the default UI's error frame with some modifications. Okay. Alright, whatever. Install. Bug sack is also popular instead of bug grabber though. Bug sack. I don't want to install a million add-ons for this though. Let's just use bugger to start with. Do reload. The weird thing is though is if I do a reload now it might not happen again. What happens if we just press it now? Oh, well, it's done it again. Oh, you kind of need two though. One to get the error and one to show it to you. Well, the error seems to consistently happen for me right now. If I click on table, no change. Go back to settings, go back to table. The game just hangs for a second and then just dumps everything. Oh, you also need this bug grabber thing. Okay. Bugger can't function without bug grabber. Ah, Jesus. Okay. Bug grabber. Ah, of course it can't find it. Wow. CurseForge's search system is so terrible. The difference between having that as a lowercase g and a capital G meant that it either found it or didn't find it. What a dumbass system. Okay, let's do a reload again then. So now an error has been captured. An error has been captured. Roots is causing an issue. Roots import is causing an issue. TomTom is causing an issue. Something else. Roots again. So now what happens if let's just close that for a second. Let's try and open Legendary Stock Tracker. Something's gone crazy and apparently an error's been captured. Legendary Stock Tracker attempts to compare numbers with nil strings. I don't know what any of this means. Do you want me just to... Hang on. Ah, what's going on? Go away, all of the things. What the hell? How did I load this interface up? Go away. There you go. Have a screen print. I'll DM you on Twitter. There you go. Have an error. I don't know what this means, but you seem to... The fact that it seems to be doing something with weak auras is... I would imagine this is the problem. There's a funky with weak auras, maybe. But I don't know what I'm talking about. Why have I even got weak auras on this add-on? On this, why don't I just go add-ons? Where's weak auras? It's going to be down the bottom of the list. This is a good opportunity for me to turn off some other stuff I don't need. Rare Scanner doesn't need to be on this character. Roots doesn't need to be on this character. Tomcat Tours doesn't need to be on this character. Weak auras can go away. Worth It doesn't need to be on. World Quest Tracker doesn't need to be on. Now let's do a reload and see what happens. Does it work now? Nope, still bust. An error's been captured. Is that the same error again? It's still string at weak auras. I don't even have weak auras installed right now. I don't know. Is that the same as what I just sent you? I think that error looks exactly the same. Quick copy and paste with my eyes. Copy, paste. Yeah, it looks the same. Seems to be referencing weak auras for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, I clicked something and another error's been captured. The same one again. For some reason one of your prices is nil when I make sure to put in 0 if there's no value. Now it doesn't even open based on the same error. So yeah, at this point I'm not entirely sure. Add-ons. Don't need that on this character. I don't technically need that on this character either. Don't necessarily need threat plates on this character. Don't necessarily need Tom even. I mean, that's literally as minimal as Bagnon, Bag Brother, Alcoholic. That's as minimal as my add-ons are going to get. So I don't think it's an issue with some other add-ons. Maybe one of the legendaries doesn't exist on the auction house at all and it's causing nil values. But this is before it's even scanned the auction house. It only knows of the 58 in my bags. That same error. It's exactly the same one. Attempt to compare numbers with nil. What if I open the auction house, open my bags, open the mailbox, open the bank, now try it? Now it's just errors out. What if I reload? What if I check everything and then press the button? Overwolf said they're revamping their system next month. Oh, they need to because their search function is dog doo-doo. Double level dog doo-doo. Right, that should have populated all of the areas. What about guild? That's populated all the things. Now we press the button. No, still bust. 11 times legendary stock tracker, core 765, attempts to compare a number with nil. Missing a price on some of the items, so none of that's going to make a difference. I leave it in your hands, dude. I ain't got no clue how this thing works. I mean, when I see the export, it seems to. There are only a stack of zeros on Bone Shatter gear. There's a gap here with no Bone Shatter helm. There seems to be a missing value on Bone Shatter helm. 2 commas next to each other shouldn't be the case, I don't think. Didn't you say that there should always be some value for, even if the value is 0? On Bone Shatter helm, there's 2 commas. Did I just bug fix it for you? Am I a genius? No, probably not. There you go. Focus on Bone Shatter helm. That seems a bit weird to me. do I have any Bone Shatter Helms? I have a Bone Shatter Helm at 235 in my bags. And Bone Shatter Helm 235 and 190s. I haven't got any 210s or 225s, but first Chef Manthieus, now Bug Fixer Manthieus. Hey, jack of all trades, me. Just a genius from all angles. You can fix it now by throwing those items in a group with an operation, but I'll try and replicate it so I can fix the add-on, of course. I would assume that my TSM already has them in groups. Male, Bone Shatter Helm at rank 1, Bone Shatter Helm at rank 2, Bone Shatter Helm at rank 3, Bone Shatter Helm at rank 4. Regardless of the fact that I don't have any, they are actually already in groups. So, I don't know. I'll leave it in your hands. I'll leave it in your capable hands. All I know is that I need to do a cancel scan because nothing's selling. And I can't hear any tippy-tapping going on in the background, which means that this dude is chilling. This dude should not be chilling ever. This dude has got work to be doing. Go. Does that group have an operation? It should do. Yeah. Yeah, they all have operations. A lot, rank 1s, 2s and 3s are inheriting their operation from the parent group. I don't know if that's going to make any difference to you. Like, they've not got override parent group operations, they're inheriting it from their parent. It's only the rank 4 that has its own dedicated operation. This is all because it might have something to do with the fact that my my setup of TSM right now is kind of pretty different to how I kind of advertised my groups as being. But yes, they definitely have operations on them. Or whilst... oh, now I'm going to have to check something. What if the operation itself is invalid? Oh, I don't know. What does it show when you mouse over rank 3 or 4 helms? Rank 4 is what I've got in my bags. It shows that it has the operation, and it seems to all be hunky-dory on the rank 4. I don't actually think I've got a rank 3 crafted. So you may have to bear with me to craft a rank 3. With the... oh, now the add-on doesn't even load again. Okay, hang on. Does it have a min price? Yeah. Yeah, the operation seems to be functioning in terms of it's at least returning a gold value. Let me check the... hang on. 1 second. Bone Shatter Helm, TSM auctioning, min, normal, max, yes. Let me hover over a rank 2 or 3. I should be able to just look at them in the auction house and it will still tell me. Thank you. Rank 2. Normal price, min price, max price, yes, yes and yes. Rank 3. Min price, normal price, max price, yes, yes, and yes. All in the groups, all with operations. I don't think it's my TSM. Prices are available if that's how your add-on grabs them. I need to go get a drink actually. What time is it? My god, it's nearly 2 o'clock. No wonder I'm hungry. I wonder if the auction house has fixed itself on the meat yet. Meat shopping scan. Nope. Meat still busted. Meat still busted. It's really odd that it's only like one category of... New theory, is it not the exact item variation if you go to the base group? Are there any rank 3-4 helms still unparented? Let's check. Negative. The issue might be the fact that I don't actually have that item. Let me just go craft a rank 3 and a rank 4. Hang on. I was thinking this will affect the price of cooked food pretty soon. Namely, hence why I have a bag full of surprisingly palatable feasts. Which I'm hoping to cash in on if Blizzard don't fix this anytime soon. Can you check in the actual base group? Uh, 235, 190, 175, 210, 225. The 230, when I hover over this 235, it doesn't show the 235 as being in this version, doesn't appear to be in an operation. The 190 is the same. Yeah, I don't think searching through this base group is going to... All 5 technical. Those might be the actual current legendaries. If you throw those into the group, does it fix it? That's a 210. $225, rank 3. Reload to be safe. Open the auction house, open the mailbox, open the bags, open the bank, open the guild bank. You know, just cover all angles. Click the button. Nope, still bust. Error's been captured. Now 14 times this core lure error. Bone Shatter Helm. No, we've still got a double comma. So 1, rank 1 at no profit, no rank 2s at profit, no rank 3s. It's not generating the profit value for the rank 3, nor is it generating a profit for the rank 4s specifically on the Bone Shatter Helm. And now I've got 2 copies of a 190 Bone Shatter Helm in my TSM groups. 2 copies of the rank 2. One that has one that weirdly has entirely different TSM auction DB values to it. 2 copies of the rank 3. 2 copies of the rank 4 in my groups. But most of my groups are put together by actually having the physical item in my bags and adding that one to the group. So if I delete Bone Shatter Helms from everywhere, no Bone Shatter Helms from anywhere. The only 2 that appear in ungrouped is the 190 and the 235 that I have in my bags. Let me just go craft, considering it seems to be the 225 that's causing an issue as well. Busted copies from before the bonus ID update. I wish TSM would just fix the problem, release one update, trickling these updates out, breaking it every single week. I'm losing my temper so quickly with TSM. Like, either fix the problem and then give us the fix. Don't give us half the fix all the time. Because every time they give us half a fix, we then have to go in and change everything again. Where's Gumdrops when you need him? Let me go and just craft one of those things. You should check the price of the better feast price if you're selling those. More than 20 stat feast people are likely to buy the inflated 18 stat ones. Yeah. But arguably, I never bought those feasts to actually resell them. It was more of just a bit of a meme. I might not actually even have enough materials to craft the Bone Shatter Helm. Oh, this could be a... What did I need? I needed a rank 3, didn't I? Well, I do have enough. A rank 3. And I think it was a rank 2 I also needed. I had a 190 and I had a... Yeah, I think I needed the rank 2 and the rank 3. Now I've physically got those items. Heavy Callous Hide was not nerfed, no. There was speculations that it was, but I kind of put those speculations to bed. Can anybody buy the 1 silver meat on the auction house? Nah, meat bust on the auction house for some reason at the moment. Blizzard have been told about it, but they don't seem to be doing anything about it very quickly. So now I should have Bone Shatter Helms for all ranks in my bags. I have a 190, I have a 225, I have a 210, and I have a 235. If I add those to the groups, then it should fix stuff, right? We hope. So I've got no Bone Shatter Helms in the groups. Add it from the ungrouped items in the bag, not by searching through base group. 190 in there. 210 in there. 225 in there. And 235 in there as well. Go. Now do we dare press the button and see what happens? An error's been captured, nothing happens. Do a reload, because I don't think I'd reloaded since last time. Do you think that TSM will ever get this fully fixed? They were in the beta in what, August? If they wanted to, they could have done this a long time ago. Well, my honest answer is until TSM has some reasonable competition for their add-on, they'll just do things at their leisure. They no longer appear, in my eyes, to be a team of developers that actually show much interest in doing more than just fixing bugs. Even when the community says that is it not possible to do X, Y, and Z, in the past, TSM would have worked out a way of doing it. They don't seem to have that desire anymore. But, and like I said, until there's some reasonable competition for TSM, they're the best we got. Right, now let's press the button. It hangs and it still does the same thing. Error report. Still exactly the same error report. And on the export tab, Bone Shatter Helm, rank 3, still not generating a profit. Nor is it giving a profit for rank 4. We got double commas still on Bone Shatter Helm. Helms are still busted. Yeah, I'm not sure what else I can personally do at this point. I mean, I have all 4 of them crafted in my bags, ready and waiting. Oh. One thing I should suggest is where... now it won't even load the thing until I reload. The export, when you get the big list, if you press any button at all, it allows you to type in there. I don't know what you have to do to the add-on to not allow people to type in here, but allowing people to type things in here is kind of dangerous. This should just present you text. You should be able to copy it and paste it, but you shouldn't be able to type your own stuff in here. But for reference, yeah, we're still getting double commas on rank 3 Bone Shatter Helm profit and no profit for the rank 4. Could you not just put a button, like copy to clipboard, press the button, boop, copy to clipboard? I don't know, whatever. But yeah, something's funky with the Bone Shatter Helm. My add-on seems, my TSM seems to report. Let me get all the... $190, minimum price, normal price, max price is populating. 210, minimum price, normal price, max price. 225, minimum price, normal price, max price. TSM auction DB has minimum buyout, it has market values. So if one minus the other should still work. Although, here might lie the problem. DB, TSM auction DB, minimum buyout, 62,147 and 35 silver. Ah, no, there's a 2 silver difference between what is currently minimum on the... I was thinking that my minimum price and what is the minimum price equal out to generate a 0. But there is actually technically 2 silver difference. And 235s. There's a 1 silver difference between the minimum buyout TSM auction DB lists, and yeah, there's literally only a 1 silver difference between the two. A 0 would be fine. I specifically put 0 if there are no prices. Oh, fair enough. Don't know. Did the stream restart? Don't think so. I've not dropped a single frame. I don't know. I'm at a loss what to suggest, dude. Something's weird. I don't know what that weird thing is. I don't know. Let's do a post scan on. I think I just need to do a cancel scan on everything at this point. It's been a long time since I've cancelled. But oh, I need to get this dude crafting something. Oh, lots of shadow ghast ingots here. Nice. I always get annoyed by how throttled cancelled is. You have roughly, if you haven't done a cancel scan for a while, you can do 60 cancels before it will start to throttle you. And yes, I agree, it's kind of annoying. But it's the same for everybody. It was weird, even people only posting and cancelling 4 Dark Moon decks, they were doing it so fast they were still getting throttled on only 4 auctions. I mean, we've still got 6 million gold worth of auctions up. Oh, that's inflated by all of these feasts. I've just remembered. I'll laugh my ass off if some of these feasts actually sell though. But for as long as meat is busted, of which it is still busted, what's interesting is that there seems to be people still posting, not realising what, like, that it's then just completely screwed. Yep, meat still broken. Meat still broken. What's the odds if I check YouTube now there'll be loads of videos on how to capitalise on the fact that meat's broken? What's the chances? Oh, there isn't any yet. Maybe everybody's snoozing. Enchanted lightless silk, go. Need 800 more of these. That should give us, how many of the enchanted lightless silks do we have now? We've got about 800 of them already. That should get us most of our restock on tailoring, I think. Student still asleep? Oh, student sleeping. Oh yeah, maybe. I thought that was a subtle dig at student then, but it wasn't. Why is meat broken? No idea. No idea why meat is broken. What's going on with meat? For some reason, like, the auction house is bugged out. Weirdly, it's only on meat. Fish is fine. All other trade materials appear to be fine. Something funky's gone on with meat, and it's happening on every single server. So I have literally no clue. It's probably, my guess though, is it's going to take a realm restart, a server restart by Blizzard to fix it. Still really new to Goldmaking, got from 55k to 700 in about 3 weeks, just crafting with all the professions, no legendaries though. Do you have any tips on next steps for more profit? While I'm not going to attempt to take away from that achievement of getting up to 700k, you could very easily, there's not a huge, if you're playing around with professions right now, outside of legendaries, there's not any cast iron guaranteed way to make considerably more gold than probably what you're already doing. Arguably though, the fact that you can still make a solid 35,000 gold an hour just running around picking up herbs, picking up ore, skinning some beasts. As much as it kills me to say it, somebody that dislikes farming as much as I do, farming is arguably the best way to make gold right now. Because crafters are buying those materials in very, very large quantities, still to this day. In a weird twist of fate, outside of the legendaries, the only real way to substantially make a stack load of cash right now is actually with farming. I was so curious, so I googled this, but no, it's not today. World Vegetarian Day is 1st of October. What, you think that Blizzard stopped people buying meat deliberately because to promote Vegetarian Day? Hey, that's a theory. We're all meat free. We're all vegetarians today. That's funny. Seems like you can still post and buy meat that leaves a ghost on the auction house. Well, you can't buy any though. My bet is somehow that the hotfix for hunter pets being able to eat meat caused it. And that is almost too coincidental for it to not be the case. What they've done to meat though to cause that to happen, I'm not sure. You want to go out, your dog? Go on then. in before vegan demands vegan option in WoW. Oh dear. Yeah, there was a in the where is it? Change to the hunter. Hunters can now feed their pets Shadowlands meats. This, whatever they've done to change the meats, has meant that it's foobarred when you put it on the auction house. This is probably why that it's only the meat that is an issue. If all of the meat has now been triggered, that's a good point. Maybe there's some, I don't know. Basically, they've changed the code of the meat in some way, shape or form, and it has resulted in probably whatever was already on the auction house, just like going wrong, quite simply. Like the made food, yeah. They've done something weird to the Shadowlands meat behind the scenes to make this a thing. But whatever it is that they've done, they've ballsed it up somewhere. They'll come in, they'll step in and fix it. But until they fix it, you cannot buy or sell meat on the auction house. It's a bit dumb, but they've changed the code to the meat behind the scenes some way. In some fashion. No, that's ore. We're not looking at ore. That's force of habit meat. So yeah, some weird stuff. Weird stuff. Tooltip doesn't change when you hover over them. The problem is we don't see what's happened in the background. They've changed the code on the meat somehow, and it's done a weirdness. It'll fix itself, but until it fixes itself, any food that is crafted with these items is likely to see some increased sales rate today. You can already see there's some sneaky goblins out there adjusting the prices of things accordingly. So interestingly, the surprisingly palatable feast appears to be the only one that's had a heavy change, but you know. Yeah, of course. If the drop chance of herbs is higher than the amount of people that have killed Sire Denathras, the warlock pets glitch out, causing meat to become bugged on the auction house. Exactly. Exactly. It doesn't have to make sense for there to be a bug in the code. Ultimately though, what it does mean is that if you are in the cooking market and you're sat on a lot of stock, it's going to be remarkably more difficult until Blizzard fix this for people to craft, because they can't buy the materials to craft the cooking stuff. Of course they can go out and they can farm it up, whatever, but it does mean that there will be a decrease in supply of a lot of the cooking products until Blizzard fixes this. There we go, I've just found my video for today. We'll talk about this weird and wonderful cooking bug. They can buy in trade. Well, that's true, you can still go through trade, but the whole process of doing it through trade is a little bit more... It is a barrier to entry, which in turn will still mean that the supply of these items to the auction house will be less than what it was before the bug. Put it that way. To what degree? Don't know. You can sell it in trade chat, but don't create an account just to sell it. Don't create an account just to sell your meat, because you'll get banned. 100 million gold of meat banned. Oh dear. Go through trade, just use your main to advertise. Yep. Don't make a separate account to sell your meat, guys. Don't do it. There's an OnlyFans joke in there somewhere, I'm sure there is. Now, I'm not in this market in any way, shape or form, and I don't intend to get into it, so I'm not really going to consider it to be a thing, but I'm quite sure a lot of these, Stake a la mode, for example, the fact that it's more, it kind of already looks as if for this to be, for 19 gold to be the default price. The thing is, it's really ripe for opportunity, because food takes up so much bag space. It only stacks to 20. The likelihood is that a lot of people like this, if they craft it, they just store it on the auction house, because it takes up so much goddamn bag space. So there's probably a lot of what exists is actually on the auction house. And in something like this, 19 gold times 3,000, you only need to swoop in with, what's that mathematically? That's literally only 60k to buy all of the Stake a la mode. Not that you would, that's just, this is one, not that you would do it on this exact example, but my point is that there are large amounts of things. I mean, you're going to look at the more valuable things, really. The Tenebrous Crown Roast Aspic one, the plus haste boost one. Like, you can see here that it wouldn't take a huge amount of gold to hoover all of this up, and you know. I looked at resetting the Stake a la mode on my realm to see if I could reset it earlier. There was 24,000 of them. This is the problem. There's arguably at this point just way too many of each one on the auction house for you to like comfortably, because you would have to sell a bunch of it at a premium before this bug is fixed. But this bug might have some weird long-term effect on the pricing of things. Because the likelihood is that just because I'm not going to do it doesn't mean that other people might not do it. And the probability is that by this evening, if this bug is still a thing and people still can't buy and sell meat on the auction house, the likelihood is that a lot of food will have its price reset. Somebody will swoop in. There'll be opportunities somewhere for people to swoop in. In my opinion, even here, like 43 gold a piece, you could swoop in, buy a whole bunch of it, reset it to 90 gold a piece. Like, you're gonna have to sell a bunch of it, but you know, you might, I don't know. People can take the chances if they feel inclined to do so. And somewhere like this, for example, butterscotch marinated ribs, gain 6 crit. You could swoop in, buy a bunch of the cheap stuff, relist it all at 85 and just hope for the best. You just made me check the prices on my server. I'm sorely tempted here. But this is it. My recommendation is quite simply, like, don't do it unless you're informed in the first place. I'm not very informed on the cooking market. I've not invested any time or effort into the cooking market whatsoever. But the fact that people can't easily get access to the materials means that there's a limitation on the amount of people that will be able to restock any sold items. But like I said, I don't know what's the good stuff, what's the bad stuff to be like diving in. I mean, arguably the feasts, because of course, where's the big boy feast here? Like the fact that these feasts are all currently, there's not, in my opinion, that's not a lot of feasts. Do you think food will skyrocket because of the meat cock up for Saturday night's raiding? You don't know. I don't know. This is the thing. I can only speculate because I've not been in this market. I've not seen how it plays out. I've got no experience in terms of how much sells normally to know if this is a lot or if this is not a lot. I'm not very informed in this market, so I'm only speculating. But to me, to an outsider, the way, considering that I'm comparing this price to a single piece of heavy callus hide. I buy stacks of heavy callus hide at a time. Like these feasts, for example, could I swoop in, buy a bunch of these, and then sell enough of them at 3,000 gold quickly enough to make my gold back? Possibly. I don't know. If you've got the expertise in the cooking market, there are opportunities for you today. Because Blizzard have done something with this specific change, allowing hunters to feed their pets Shadowlands meats. Whatever they had to do behind the scenes to make this a thing has ballsed up the code for the meat, meaning that you can't sell it on the auction house. And it's resulting in this happening on every server. All of the meat being posted for silvers without the ability to actually buy any of it. I mean, people at a heartbeat would buy all of this at 1 silver piece. Of course they would. But, yeah. Raiders have very loud voices. They'll fix it pretty soon, in my opinion. Well, I kind of thought that until I looked on the subreddit. Until you go to the WoW Economy subreddit and you see that the initial 11 hours ago now, auction house bugged. Check this one out. 11 hours ago. 14 hours ago even. 14 hours ago. I'm experiencing the same thing trying to buy feast reagents. The listings are split when you search, and even when I click higher accurately priced listings, it opens the smaller blah 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 blah. This item is low. This is 14 hours ago. Raiders haven't noticed yet. Food prices barely affected in the EU, for sure. But Friday night raiding, it's going to be big. When they go craft for tonight's raids, they'll complain. But how long will it be after they complain about it that it will be fixed? It was 14 hours ago. This was initially noted by people. Started 8:30 PM yesterday. 14 hours ago, and it's still an issue now. If you search for the meats on the default Blizzard UI, there's actually 2 different listings for the same item. One at 1 silver, the rest at the normal. Probably the 2 versions of the meats after the hotfix. That's yeah, that's let's search for ribs then. So yeah, it's is this going to be the only ribs? But then when you click on either one of them, it takes you to the same page because it's considered a material. It clusters all the materials together. So these 1,531 ribs are probably new ribs that have been generated by people farming since this change. These 4,147 was what was farmed prior to the change. So we've got 2, it's probably a bonus ID issue again. TSM probably knows all about this. But the likelihood is, it doesn't matter the fact that these are the new ones, these are the old ones. The point is you still can't buy any. Don't matter how many you try and buy, you can't buy them because the way that the auction house is set up, is that you are forced to buy the cheapest first. So Blizzard are going to have to do something to fix it, because right now it's bust. It's bust. But kind of means for any of you guys out there that have cooking, have materials already, or have the gold to look at buying, selling some cooking, crafted cooking items today, there's an opportunity there. Just tested Ethereal Meat, spent 7k to buy all 1,700 available to get it to buy, but the list didn't change. And I could buy all again. Average price was 4 gold each, reposted at 9. The whole thing feels a bit weird. The whole thing feels a bit weird. But whatever this change was that Blizzard did behind the scenes to allow hunters to feed their pets Shadowlands meat has ballsed it up royally. My server has only 95 of the large feasts listed, and they're currently only double normal price. That means that somebody's bought them all then. That means that somebody's already swooped in and bought them all. Of course, it's a hunter's fault. Always the hunters. Those goddamn hunters, every time. If they're not ninjaing weapons, because of course it's a hunter weapon, then they're breaking the cooking market from within. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, hunter pet pulled aggro. Sorry, hunter pet pulled aggro. Oh, what's that? Hunter stomp. Yep. Turn off taunt. Yep. It's always the hunters. Always the hunters. But anyway, there we go. I at least know what my video is going to be on today. It may not last very long because the likelihood is it will change very quickly. But what that does mean, though, boys and girls, is I'm going to leave it there for today. What day is it? It's Friday, isn't it? I may or may not stream tomorrow morning. I'm not entirely sure. We are sort of busy tomorrow. And like I said, I usually take the weekends off. So if I do stream tomorrow, it will be a bonus stream. So don't bank on it. Worst case scenario, though, I'll see you guys on Monday. I wish you the best of the weekend's gold making. There's still good opportunities for gold making with skinning, with legendaries, potentially cooking, depending on how long it takes Blizzard to fix things. But enjoy your weekend, boys and girls. Have fun. Make lots of gold. Stay indoors because, you know, the corona's outside, so stay away from all of that. And America, fix your shit. But anyway, boys and girls, love you and leave you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.